What is up, guys, and welcome back to Built. Today we are working on our $500 to $3,000 project. It is a 1980 Honda Accord. Now, the last video, we did a head gasket, which I've never done before, and it went really well. The car runs now and doesn't overheat. And we did the interior. We had it completely recovered professionally, put it back in, and it looks awesome. The whole car feels totally different just from having fresh, new seats. It just feels so good. So today, we're gonna be finishing the car up, getting it ready for sale, and then actually selling it to see if we can hit that $3,000 goal. So first things first, we have to fix some issues with the car. There's just, with any old car, there's always these like little finicky issues that are just annoying, especially if you're trying to daily drive the car. And that's the goal. I want this car to be great when the person buys it. That is my entire goal. So we're gonna take care of these issues that are just annoying. We're gonna do that today. There's like 5 of them. We'll take them all out. After that, we're gonna do some photography. I'm gonna show you guys some tricks that I use to get good photos of my cars. I am not a photographer, but I've found some tips and tricks that just help me take better photos. When you're selling a car online, photos is all you got, so you gotta take good ones. And then after that, we're gonna list the car on a curated auction site and see if we can get our $3,000 goal. It's gonna be a big video. There's a lot going on. Let's get started on the car. All right, and with that, we successfully have relocated our battery, which is pretty awesome. It's back in its normal spot, and we've got our tie down here, so it's not going anywhere. I'm really happy with this, honestly. So yeah, we just gotta run our power, and then we'll be live again. Now, the fan, it doesn't look like an aftermarket fan, but it's had a relay wired into it, and all the wires are the same color, and it makes it really hard to kind of figure out what's going on. So I went ahead and bought a new relay and some new wiring and stuff to rewire this fan. The first move is gonna be see if we can get it to run off of the temperature switch. But before we do any of that, I just wanna drive the car. Try again. I will say, aside from the rattling that you no doubt can hear, because it's you, this car, something does not feel right back there. Let's see what's going on. All right, so the first drive could have gone smoother. Let's get this thing up in the air and see what is going on. It's like maybe the emergency brake lever isn't going back in. So it looks like the e-brake mechanism is seizing up. So I'm just gonna avoid using it. I actually feel like I might remember the previous owner telling me not to use the e-brake. we'll get that sorted out. So my first move is always just, okay, we stopped. Let's go in reverse. We're on a hill, so it's a little bit difficult. Okay, brakes again. And we stopped, that's good. I don't know how long it's been since this car was driven on the road. So what I'm gonna do, I'm driving just through this little neighborhood, just checking everything out, trying to make sure that, well, that nothing's gonna break. It honestly feels really, really great. It is a little bit loud. You guys can hear that drone from the exhaust, but the exhaust is just chopped off right behind the rear wheel. So, you know, that's kind of to be expected. I've got a great exhaust shop that I use, and we will run this over there and get them to throw a muffler on it. I'm coming up on my brother's house. I'm gonna pull over up here, and there we go. Now you guys can hear me. I'm gonna pull over up here and just check and make sure we're looking okay under the hood. Alright, so all a relay is an on-off switch. Inside of here there's a magnet. When the magnet gets electricity, it turns on, or it bridges the gap between two wires. Okay, so what we're looking to do with this relay is make this switch turn on when the engine or when the coolant reaches a certain temperature. We have a temperature gauge down here that is wired into switched power, and when that gauge hits a certain temperature, it grounds out. From what I understand, it grounds out, or it might break ground. Either way, no, it's got to ground out, I guess. And it creates a circuit. So when that's plugged into here, when it grounds out and creates a circuit, that will open our switch, which will turn our fan on. Get all this. This is super, super messy. Okay, so there's our signal. Now that should work if the temperature sensor is functional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the car up, and we'll idle it. And just let it continue to get hot and hotter and hotter, and hopefully the fan kicks on. If the fan doesn't kick on, then we will bypass the fan switch and just run off of the key. The engine is getting really hot. I really hope this fan cuts on. Yes! Dude, that is so good. Come on. Then it cuts right back off. Keeping our temperature controlled. That is incredible. That is the first relay I've ever wired. So before this, let me get in the light. Oh, it's so bright. I don't know if I'm in focus. I can't see anything. That's the first relay I've ever wired. I did some Google searching and learned how relays worked and then wired it, and it works just like it's supposed to. That is awesome. It's just cutting on by itself. Man, it's the little things, you know? It's the little things. That is so good. That's good. Let's go. Come on. Yes. Yes. Heck yeah. Yes. Oh, that is too good. Yes. want to change it back to normal? You want to change it to red or blue? Red or blue?
Blue.
Put it in the pool over there. Your little table, water table. And the only thing we have left to figure out is the speedometer, and this thing will be 100%.
That is my ABCs.
That is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna pull these bolts out.
Yeah, we are.
That. And then this.
I'm just looking at the parts.
This.
I'm just looking at the parts.
You just looking at the parts?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is my ABCs, and that is my ABCs, and that is my ABCs.
It is?
Yeah, and right there, and right there, and right there. Oh, and right there. Oh, and right there. Oh, and right there, and right there.
Okay.
Oh, and right there.
Cool.
Oh, and right there.
And right there?
And right there.
All right,
And right there.
You were funny.
You can't take it out.
No, I have to. Our speedometer doesn't work.
Okay. Okay.
So we did those two. See, 1, 2.
Yeah, we
Now
do.
we need to do this one up here.
Yeah, we do. And then we will get that one. Okay, Daddy?
Okay.
Here's the two.
Yeah.
I still...
Wait a second.
Wait a second.
I don't think we have to pull all this off, dude.
No, we don't.
No, I don't think we do.
But we
That would be
do.
great.
Yeah. We are good.
No, we're not done, but it would be great. Take it. Here. You wanna go play? You can go play. Daddy's gonna keep trying to figure this thing out.
You can do it wherever you want to. You can hook it wherever you want to, Daddy. You can hook it wherever you want to.
This should come out. Ha!
No, you can't take that
I
out.
have to.
Oh, you can't.
Ah. No.
No. You cannot. You cannot do that.
You are so silly.
You cannot do that.
There we go.
You cannot do that.
Okay.
You cannot do that.
We're gonna do that.
You cannot do that. Daddy.
Right, buddy. Okay. All right, come out here. Come look at what we did. Alright, so we've got 0 spin from the speedometer cable, so that's going to be our issue. When I spin one end of the cable, the other end spins though, so I got to do some diagnosing and figure out why, well, I guess why it wouldn't be spinning. Run it in reverse with a drill, and you can see that's spinning. Now I suspect that it's going to spin the gauge as well. Alright, so test number 2.
Can I get out, Daddy?
Oh,
Can I get out, Daddy?
there we go. Oh yeah. Right, this one goes right here. Alright, here we go. That is good news. All right, that is it. That's the last of the annoying problems. So it turns out all of that was because the cable was not installed properly on the gearbox side. So where it goes into the gearbox, there's a little bitty tab that has to slot into the actual drive gear, and that tab wasn't slotted in. Now you can still install the cable without the tab being slotted in, which is the confusing part. And if you do, you just get a dead speedometer. So I'm guessing that's what happened. Let's see, what's next? I'm gonna throw this stuff back together, and then we can wash it. I'll get some insurance on it, and we can just drive it and enjoy it. It's been a long road with this little car, but we are down to the very last step, last mechanical step anyway. We still have to wash it. We still have to wash it and all that cool stuff before we list it, but there's one more thing that needs to be taken care of before we can even take pictures of it, and that is the exhaust. The exhaust has been just chopped off behind the passenger rear wheel, and I'm going to get another one thrown on, just kind of a stock one, something really quiet, just to kind of finish off this entire build. And honestly, I'm super glad that we're done. I'm really happy with how everything came out. There's only a couple of things missing that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get. One is this windshield wiper, the second windshield wiper here. I don't know where to get one, so I'm going to be looking for one. But I think ultimately if I can't find one, that's going to be okay. And really, I think that might be it. So I guess we should find one of those. To it.
The exhauster came.
See, yeah, you see the exhauster came off?
How much came off?
Just the back.
Whole thing?
Just the back of it.
That's the whole thing?
Yeah, if you look at the back, there's no exhauster on it. So we'll get to see how quiet it is with a muffler on, and then we'll be washing it and taking pictures. I wish we could do that today, but I think it's going to be a little bit too gray. Today is the day that we're getting the car ready to sell. I just gave it a quick wash. It's fairly thorough, but we got all the dirt off of it. It had a lot of dirt just from sitting, so took that off. I'm leaving the paint, obviously. It's an original paint job, and I don't really want to go through the trouble of repainting it. I'd rather let the next owner get a better deal on the car and let them kind of choose the color if they want to keep it original or change the color or whatever. That's on them. But basically, the goal before listing this thing online is to get it clean and to make sure we fix every problem. Now if you remember, there's still one problem left, and that is the exhaust manifold leak. Now I got under there yesterday and tightened a few things up. Check this thing out. No more leak, and it runs super quiet. I'm so happy with this. So I fixed all of the annoying problems of this car. Now we're gonna go take it to a spot that I like to take pictures. Come here.
You know where my monitor is?
I don't. I saw one over there. So where we're going now is a not so secret photo spot for me. I'm gonna give you guys some kind of advice on shooting cars. Now I am not a photographer at all. I've got friends that are photographers, like Finn from FJ Films and Angel Morales, Cam from Cam's Cars, and those guys are, and I've seen them shoot cars in broad daylight. and it just turn out amazing. I can't do that. So I'm gonna show you what I do to try to set myself up for the most success. Because when you're selling a car online, the pictures have to be good. You don't have a choice. They've got to be good because that's all that the person that's buying gets. So you need to have a lot of them, and they've got to be really good. They've got to make the car look as good as it looks in person. All right, we're pulling up on our spot now. And the thing that I love about this spot is the shade. Now, it's a very bright day today, and that's not great if you're an amateur taking pictures of cars, and that is what we are. So what I'm looking for is something with a cool background that has plenty of shade, and that's what this place is. This is my favorite place to take pictures of cars if I'm taking them myself. And what it is we're at some bridges. I live near a river, so there's plenty of bridges, and these are my favorite. So we're just gonna pull over here. You see how it got all shady and nice? We're just gonna pull over here and find a cool spot in the shade, and this is where we will take all of our pictures. It's gonna make the paint look nicer, and it's gonna keep us from having any harsh shadows, which is important. All right, so when I shoot cars, I shoot on auto. That's what you're looking at right now, and I'm on a 50mm prime lens. That's a lens that doesn't zoom. So this is gonna be one of my shots here. You can see I've got the bridge in the background. I've got the whole car in shadow, and there's no bright light, so I'm not shooting where you can see this change in light. So that hard shadow where my sun is, I don't wanna shoot anywhere where you're gonna be able to see that. Now, this is not professional, this is just what I've learned. Another thing that I'll do, and I can't really show you guys this, but I'll zoom in and get my focus on zoom, and then stay real still and shoot the picture. I don't have great eyes, and that helps me get everything in focus and make sure that no matter how big the picture's blown up, it's gonna look good. So here's an example of kind of bad lighting for the background. You'll see the car is in shadow, but the background is full-on sunlight, and that's not gonna look great. He's not happy about being here. That's not gonna look great in pictures. I'm gonna take this picture anyway, but I'm gonna set up this profile shot again where the background is all in shade, and I think it's gonna look a lot better. So you can see here we found the same shot without moving the car with a little bit better background. You got these cool diagonal lines coming from the bridge, and it's also a lot more shaded, so it makes more sense. The last thing I'm going to do for exterior shots is going to be a 360. So we'll do probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably 10 to 12 shots walking around the car to be a 360-degree kind of rotation. And that's for people that are real serious about the car, that want to buy it. Any car you want to sell on the internet, it always helps to have shots just from every single angle and to kind of finish with that. So okay, and now that we've done that, your child that you brought with you should be in full meltdown mode, and you can finally leave. Are you ready to go? All right, let's load back up. All right, we got them all. Let's go, buddy. So that's interior. I'm gonna get him buckled in, and then I'll shoot all the detail pics, and then we'll be ready to get out of here. Okay, we have recovered. Are you good, buddy? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of bugs outside. Yeah. All right, so the car is done and ready to be sold. Now, I wanted to use Cars and Bids originally because I used them with the MR2, and it was just a great experience for me. Their customer service is awesome. But they don't take 1980 or earlier because the VIN systems are different. So I went with another site that's very similar called Bring a Trailer. Now, I've known to Bring a Trailer forever because I used to look at like the project cars they would sell on there. The name Bring a Trailer kind of like denotes that. It's a project car site. It's a site for cars that need some work or cars that are really nice and you don't want to drive home, you bring a trailer. So I was pretty excited to try it out for myself, and I went ahead and submitted all of my 150 pictures or however many I took. The car was accepted and it went through the whole auction process. It took about 3.5 weeks to go to auction, and then the auction started, and it started off a little slow. And I'm not gonna bore you with the entire auction because it was a week long. We're just gonna go to the last 2 minutes. $2,369, so not $3,000. And I'm not super happy about it. I feel like it's a $3,000 car. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below if you think that this car is worth $3,000, if it's not even worth $2,300, or if this guy got a smoking deal. Now, the cool thing about this is where the car is going. It is going to Dubai. Yes, actual Dubai. Now, that is cool, but it also presents some problems because Dubai and Alabama, United States, are on different time zones, so communicating with the buyer has been a little bit difficult. So 3 weeks of going back and forth and me forwarding stuff to Bring a Trailer saying, is this normal? What do I need to be doing? I finally was like, you know what, guys, this is too much. I don't want to deal with this. This is getting really sketchy to me. I'm going to sell the car locally. Now, at that point, I got somebody from Bring a Trailer that I guess was higher up in the service department, and he pleaded with me to just wait, to be patient. So I waited another week and a half and finally got paid like 4.5 weeks after the auction sold. And that's not great. It's a lot of time, especially when it took 4 weeks to get the car to auction and through an auction. So it took 8.5 weeks to sell the car, and I could have sold it locally for a week. So that was a little bit frustrating, but again, it's part of the online selling and buying process. I'm selling internationally. It is what it is. I think the market's changed. I think that Bring a Trailer used to have more projects on it. People were used to seeing them, and now it's a lot more just fully restored 911s and low mileage, super nice cars, and people are used to seeing that. And so what happened with the Hondas, it got torn up in the comment section. I mean, commenters were really hard on this car, and they were calling out a lot of stuff that was addressed in the listing itself, and it just felt a little bit unfair. And so I don't know if that affected the bids at all, but there were things like, I bet this car doesn't run, this car's rusted out, it's gonna fall apart, and a lot of stuff that just wasn't true, but it was all in the comment section and people were going back and forth. Now, towards the end of the auction, the commenters came to my rescue and talked about how great the car was actually, but I don't know that the damage wasn't already done. So I do think that that probably had a little bit to do with my $2,369 bid, but it is an auction, and so it's sold for that. Now, I think I will use Bring a Trailer again, but I'm only gonna put really nice stuff on there because I feel like that's kind of where Bring a Trailer is moving, to just really, really nice low mileage cars. I think for this kind of stuff, for this couple $1,000 cars or whatever, I'm just gonna stick to local and just sell local, and I think that's probably the smartest thing to do. You don't have any sort of fees or anything. You just sell it, it's gone, you can move on to the next project. All right, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this Honda build. It has been really fun to do, but it has been a super long one. So I'm super glad that we were able to just keep it down to 2 episodes for you guys. I got another build that we're doing kind of like the Honda that I'm gonna be filming beforehand and then putting into like a 3 or 4 part series. It's gonna be a lot more modified and a lot faster and cooler, but it's a similar concept of picking a project that I'm not super comfortable with, learning through it, figuring everything out, and making the car better in the end. So if you enjoyed this, that is coming. It's gonna be kind of my Thursday series, and we're gonna try to keep Thursday videos going for you guys, so there's just more content for you to watch on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys Saturday when we build the front end of the Datsun. We're building the little front bumper piece. It's gonna be sick.